Hello students, welcome to part 2 of the components of food. In the first part, we had seen the various nutrients and the food pyramid. Also, we discussed about the carbohydrates and then we performed an activity to test the presence of starch. Now let's advance further with the second part. The second component of food are fats. Fats provide us far more energy than the carbohydrates, and they are important for two reasons. Number one, in case the carbohydrates are unavailable, the fats act as an energy source for the body. Thus, fats act as an energy bank. Secondly, the fats get stored under the skin and thus act as insulators. So this helps to keep the body warm. Now a science fact related to fats. Fats obtained from plants are much healthier than those we get from the animal sources. Fats which we get from animal sources like butter, clarified butter are solids at the room temperature, whereas the plant-based fats are generally liquids at room temperature. Now the sources of fats are butter, clarified butter which is also known as ghee, coconut oil, olive oil, mustard oil and sunflower oil. Activity time. The aim is to test the fats and the materials required are food items like vegetable oil or coconut oil, sheets of paper and water. So the method which we are going to follow has following steps. Pour small quantity of oil on the paper. What do you observe? An oily patch which is translucent gets formed and can be seen when the paper is held against light. Now repeat the activity for water. What do you observe? No patch of water is left on the paper. Let's see a video which helps us to understand how this activity is performed, and let's see the translucent part as well. To test the fats, we have following materials: vegetable oil, coconut oil and water. We have few papers which we'll utilize, and along with this we have a cotton swab which is going to help us. So let's start with the first one. We take a paper and then we dip the cotton swab into the vegetable oil and slowly we apply a small quantity of oil on the paper, and what we observe is a translucent spot which has actually gone formed, and if we rotate the paper, it's visible on both the sides. So this validates the presence of fat in the vegetable oils. Let's test it for coconut oil. So we'll cut the sachet. And then apply a small quantity of oil on the sheet. So what we observe again is there is a translucent patch which has gone formed, and if we rotate, this patch is still visible on the other side. Let's go with water. So we take one more paper and then we can use the other side of the swab. Put a small quantity of water on the paper like we did it for oil, and after evaporation this patch of water will disappear. Let's rotate it. The patch is not visible on the other side, so that means water does not contain fat. The next component of food is proteins. So various body parts are made of proteins and they help in growth and bodybuilding. Repairing worn out and damaged tissues is also done by proteins. Now a science fact related to proteins. There are proteins which even control the activities going on inside the body. These proteins are called enzymes. Soybean is the richest source of plant protein. Proteins also give us energy, but far less in comparison to the carbohydrates and fats, and they are converted into energy sources only when both the carbohydrates and the fats are unavailable. Let's see the sources of proteins. So sources of proteins can be animal and plant both. So in the plants we have beans, pulses, groundnuts, dry fruits and barley. In the animal proteins we have lean meat or the meat which is free from fat, fish, egg white, milk and cheese. Activity time! So this time we are going to test the proteins, and the material required are food item, mortar and pestle, dilute copper sulfate, dilute sodium hydroxide, test tube and a pipette. And the method which we are going to follow is take the food item like beans, mash with mortar and pestle and add water. Pour 2 ml of mixture into a test tube. Add a little quantity of dilute sodium hydroxide till the solution becomes clear. Then add few drops of dilute copper sulfate and shake. If the food contains protein, the solution will turn purple. Now let's see this in action. This time not in the form of a video but in the form of images. We take a test tube, and in this test tube we add food sample which has been mashed with the help of mortar and pestle. We also add a small amount of water to it. Then with the help of a dropper we add few drops of sodium hydroxide solution and let the solution stand clear. Once that happens, again with the dropper we add few drops of copper sulfate solution. Now this copper sulfate solution is blue in color, and then with a slight amount of shake, if the blue color changes into purple color, it indicates the presence of protein. The next component of food is vitamins. Vitamins are substances that are required in very small amounts in our diet. They have no energy value but are important for protecting our body against diseases. Vitamins also keeps our eyes, bones and teeth healthy. Vitamins are of different types and they are represented by the alphabets A, B, C, D, E and K. Some vitamins are soluble in water, whereas some are soluble in the fat. They are found in different food items and have a specific function. Lack of vitamins results into deficiency diseases, and we are going to learn about that at the end of this chapter. Now a science fact related to the vitamins. Vitamins are mostly made by plants or animals, and the sources of vitamins are eggs, cod liver oil. So we can actually see this fish over here which is called the cod. Fruits, vegetables, fish, lean meat, milk and unpolished cereals. Coming over to the next component, which is minerals. So minerals are substances found in soil and water. These are taken up by plants which in turn are eaten by the animals. Each mineral has a specific function to be done in the body and are required in very small quantity. The importance of mineral are proper formation of bones and teeth, smooth functioning of the body and growth and repair of the body. Sources of minerals. Here we have a photograph depicting the important minerals required by our body. So the first one is iodine, phosphorus, iron, calcium, potassium and zinc. Now let's see the sources for each of them. So we obtain iodine from fish, spinach, ginger and curd. Phosphorus is obtained from milk, banana, chilies and cereals. Iron is obtained from spinach, apple, meat and dry fruits. Calcium is obtained from milk, eggs, fish and broccoli. Potassium is obtained from banana, tomato, orange and low-fat milk, whereas zinc is obtained from nuts, lean meat, that means the meat which is less in fat, chicken and legumes. Coming over to the dietary fibers or roughage. So the fibrous indigestible material in vegetables which aids the passage of food and waste product through the gut is called dietary fiber or roughage. Science fact about the dietary fibers. A ball of oatmeal and a pear contains about the same amount of fiber. Polishing of pulses makes them lose the seed coat, and this reduces the dietary fiber. Now the sources of roughage are oats, apple, pear, orange, carrot and cucumber. Coming over to the last component of food, which is water. Water helps our body to absorb nutrients from food. It also helps in throwing out some wastes from body as urine and sweat. Now water can be obtained from various sources. We can have water directly, we can have it from milk, tea and various other juices. Now a science fact related to water. We must not drink water from any random source. Water from untreated sources may contain bacteria, viruses and protozoa. These all can make us sick. With this, we come to an end of part 2 from components of food. In case you have any questions or queries, please write an email to learning.space.mk@gmail.com. In case you have liked the video, please do like, share and subscribe. We'll meet again in part 3 of the same chapter. Till then, happy learning!